Hey, welcome back to another episode of Heroes and Videos. We're going to be doing a bit of a lightning round today. The merry Marvel month of May is done, and we are into the fantastic month of June. I know that's not alliterative. I apologize, Stan Lee, wherever you are. Today we're going to be looking at a few new comics. I'm going to keep it down to super light today. There's one in particular I want to talk about at the end where the Fantastic Four, particularly Ben Grimm, may have just solved world peace, maybe, or at least has a great way of looking at things, and we're going to go into that a little in depth. We're also going to have Spider-Man and Daredevil showing up, crossing over, kind of crossing over, sort of crossing over, not really crossing over, and the return of a character that hadn't been around in DC for a while. I'll give you a hint. It's Warlord. Oh, sorry, not a hint, but hang in there. I'm going to also talk about an incredible Captain America event or in recent books, but we're going to do a lightning round today, so hit like as fast as you can because we're going to try to zip through this. We're going to go in depth on that Fantastic Four towards the end. Would love if you would subscribe to the channel, all that wonderful YouTube stuff, but let's get right into it. First up is World's Finest. This is World's Finest 51, I believe. They're not doing legacy numbering on this book. Kind of a busy cover there. If you look closely in the midst of all that color and all that stuff going on, you will see the big two there, Batman and Superman, and they're kind of in a jungle, savage land looking situation there. It's beautifully written by Mark Waid. The art is very good as well. I'm going to give you a little spoiler here, but that color, Supergirl's coming here in June, not too many weekends away. So go see that. And it's just well done book. I really had to double check and make sure it wasn't Dan Mora doing the pencils here. It's not, but it's a great book, and it's got the return of Travis Morgan, I think. Bronze and Modern Gods. John, I believe, is the big Warlord fan there. You need to check that out. I'll reach out to you separately in case you're not watching this episode, but World's Finest 51, DC's World's Finest continues to just be some of the finest comics out there for just good, pure fun. If you enjoyed DC comics in the 60s and 70s and even the 80s, it's the book for you. We've talked in the past, the conceit of that book is it takes place back, we'll say, when Dick Grayson is fairly new at being Robin. It's that era of DC, which is really cool, and they're reintroducing a lot of these characters from that era. So it's pretty neat reading. Next up is another DC, Fury of Firestorm #2. This is a Jeff Lemire book, and if you're not reading it, you should be. It's look, more Supergirl. We're hitting the full court press with Supergirl coming out. But it's a great concept. I can't believe the art goes back and forth between the comic book type art you're seeing here and some of the more, well, I don't want to spoil the book, so I won't show you too much of the other stuff, but some of the I don't know how to describe it. So let's say it's indescribable, but it's really good. If you're not reading Firestorm, you should be. The only thing that's not keeping this comic from blowing up, I think, would be the words "absolute" on the cover. But it's a different take on Firestorm, and I can't believe it took, as somebody that read Firestorm back when it first came out, I can't believe it took all these years for somebody to present the current concept. Like, I can see it being very much a pitch to, hey, what about this? And I don't want to spoil this for you, but if you're not reading Firestorm, you should be. Next up, I mentioned Captain America, and I did say, poorly punned, an incredible event in Captain America. This is part 6 of Doom's Shadow, which has been pretty much the battle for Latveria now that Dr. Doom is gone after One World Under Doom, or the events of One World Under Doom. This is the last issue of that current arc. You see General Thunderbolt Ross as Red Hulk there, surrounded by a lot of other Hulks, pounding on our guy Steve Rogers there. So I'm not sure where they're heading with this. You'll notice it says at the very, very top, if you look really close, Armageddon assembles in 1 month. I don't know if you all remember just before the Secret Wars miniseries a number of years ago, they kept saying X number of months left until this event. And that's sort of the same thing. Chip Zdarsky, I think that's how you spell it. like Zdarsky and Hutch, maybe. He's writing this, and he's also writing Marvel's upcoming Armageddon or Avengers Armageddon title that we're all very curious about. This may lead into that, and I don't want to spoil anything, but if you are a Captain America fan, read this book. And that's all I'll say about that. Next up is I'm going to do a quick twofer here. It's Daredevil, and this is not the variant cover, though it did have some really pretty variant covers. I may have one right here. Hold on for just a moment. My mistake. I do not have them right there. So, but trust me, some great. Actually, if you look at one of my last videos, I had the variant covers over here where I've got Captain America and Spider-Man hanging out in the background. The current Daredevil title, the current volume, this is number 2. Great book, well written. I wasn't a huge fan of the last volume. I'm really enjoying this one. It's Legacy number 689, so I don't know how long this numbering is going to be with us. Just see that art. It's just very clean. I just enjoy the writing. There's some in-jokes in the first issue or two about Matt being known for being somewhat of a himbo, I guess. Is that the right term? But it's kind of cool. The owl, semi-spoilers in here. Leland Owlsley, the owl shows up in this. I'm always up for an owl appearance. And Spider-Man shows up. And what's really cool to me is that the same month, unrelated, this is a variant cover, but the same month, Daredevil shows up in Amazing Spider-Man, number 29. So just thought it was kind of cool, particularly back the fact that those characters have been hanging out and teaming up for a while, that they basically were in each other's books, unrelated to the other's appearance. So it's just kind of a cool coincidence. Now, last up, Fantastic Four number 11 of the current volume. It is 737 for the Legacy. And I'm going to go a little bit into a deep dive on this. I'm still going to keep the video short, but I want to do a deep dive. The Ryan North books of Fantastic Four have been getting a lot of acclaim, and rightfully so. They don't always have a villain. They're very scientifically oriented. For the most part, they're one-offs or one-shots. That yes, there's an ongoing story, but you don't have to read each issue. Very much like Fraction's current Batman run. The art's super clean and pretty. The colors are just phenomenal. They just pop out at you. Again, I won't go over the minor villain that's in it. The gist of the story is, after all the major things that the Marvel's gone through, Doom, the One World Under Doom, and just all of the events that happen over time, they're feeling a bit worn out. And so the Fantastic Four are trying to figure out how to make it better. Like, what can they do? They're thinking in terms of the Future Foundation, if you remember that from Jonathan Hickman's run. And in current Marvel, and maybe it's post Fantastic Four First Steps here on the T-shirt, maybe where not only is Reed a big brain, but Sue for many years in Marvel has been kind of retconned into being like an anthropologist, or a doctor in her own, having a doctorate or doctorates in her own right, and even Johnny with the movie, with the film, or the latest film, is supposed to be someone who's fairly intelligent. He's so 3 of the 4, and Ben, obviously, to be a test pilot or an astronaut, I feel like Ben gets the short end of that stick, that Ben would have to be fairly intelligent as well, and not just a jock. No offense to jocks, but and that's jock, J-O-C-K, not French jock. But I know that you knew that. So in this book, each of the 3 Richards family members, Richards and Storm family members, are coming up with ways. How can we do this? How can we attack the world's problems? What's a good way to start to make the world a better place? And it's really left up to Ben to do it. They just decide something that happens in the battle. And again, we're going into some spoilers here. Leads them to say, hey, maybe we should let Ben take a shot at this. And he works on it all night. Alicia is helping him, or at least, there's to support him emotionally. And I'm going to just read it because I think it's that good. So bear with me for just a moment. Here we go. We, the peoples of Earth, have spent millennia fighting each other. We have explored war and chaos and conflict, and we have all of us collaborated on the great project of our world, the unending, practical demonstration of how coercion, force, and constraint can be best deployed to achieve our goals. Yet despite the thousands of years and billions of lives lost to this experiment, we have in every instance found the fruits of this great labor to be bitter, self-destructive, unchanging, and unchangeable. We therefore now resolve ourselves to a new experiment, to commit not to fear, but to brilliant hope. We choose to learn what might grow when the seeds of unity and friendship are tended to with trust, imagination, and consideration. We choose to discover our shared pursuit of wisdom and peace may transform the world. We choose to explore the full extent of what we can achieve in our beautiful, improbable, utterly fantastic lives. And most of all, we choose to never forget that as we are all of us connected, we are therefore all of us family. The name of this experiment is the Future Foundation. We invite you to join us. I thought that was beautiful. It just what a great treatise for, literally for thousands, tens of thousands of years that humanity's been here. We seem to have tried the conflict thing over and over and not gotten really anywhere with it. So let's try the other thing. I just thought that was a beautiful concept. And I'm thinking there was another thing in here about how beautiful it was that Ben wrote that. And it's just really great. I will use a little pop, jump in with a couple of pop references from the 80s. Two folks that, two pop icons, if you will, that some of what they've said has really hit me over the years. One of which was Michael Jackson, and Man in the Mirror, I think, was the song. So I know, try to separate the art from the artist, but that man in the mirror concept that, he's looking in the mirror, trying to change his ways, that you want to make the world a better place, look at yourself and make a change. So that pop phrase has always stuck with me over the years, kind of like Ben says here in terms of, we can choose to be better. And then the other one is something Bono said from U2. He said, people say rock and roll can't change the world, but then I look back and I see how much rock and roll has changed me. And that's always been a pretty powerful concept to me as well, apart from obviously faith and family. But that's a given. But I just thought that concept of, hey, you can make a change, I can make a change, we can make a change, we can choose to be better. It kind of goes back to the Superman movie last summer about maybe kindness, being kind is the new punk rock, right? We can decide to be better. We can choose to be better. Everyone needs to get on board with that. I just thought that was a really cool concept. And I know I am going long here, but I just thought this was just a great, and that's really only the first half of the book. There's another special bonus story by Stan Sakai. I think I'm saying that right, that I haven't gotten to read yet. But I just wanted to share that because I thought that was just a really cool concept. Ben Grimm basically writing a treatise for how we can build a better planet, and be better people. So I'll leave you with that today. Take that and run with it if you will. We all have a choice. Let's choose cooperation and unity and being listening and kindness as opposed to conflict. With that, that wraps up another episode of Heroes and Videos. Thanks for sticking around to the end. As always, keep reading comics, keep going to see movies in theaters, and be kind to each other.